Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kiran Bendigeri from Grafosyss IAS. In this video, let's have a look at 6th Standard Science 15th chapter. Air around us. We might not have seen air, but surely we must have felt its presence in so many ways. We notice it when the leaves of the trees rustle or the clothes hanging on a clothesline sway. Pages of an open book begin fluttering when the fan is switched on. The moving air makes it possible for you to fly your kite. We might have not seen the air, but we have felt the air in many ways. When we fill the air in balloon or fluttering, rustling leaves and pages fluttering, etc. Is air present everywhere around us? Take an empty glass bottle. Air fills all the space in the bottle. It is present everywhere around us. Air has no color and one can see through it. It is transparent. Our earth is surrounded by a thin layer of air. This layer extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the earth and is called atmosphere. So there is air around the earth, that is a very thin layer, and it has extended up to several kilometers, and this surface of the earth is called atmosphere. Mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders with them because as we go on climbing the mountain, the amount of oxygen decreases, so we have to carry the oxygen. What is air made up of? Until the 18th century, people thought that air was just one substance. Air is a mixture of many gases. So up to 18th century, people thought air as one substance, but actually air is mixture of many gases: hydrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, helium, argon, etc. Water vapor. We have learned earlier that air contains water vapor. We also saw that when air comes in contact with a cool surface, it condenses and drops of water appear on the cooled surfaces. The presence of water vapor in air is important for the water cycle in nature. So we have seen the experiment in previous chapter about water vapor. If we drop some ice cubes in glass, the outer surface of the glass condenses the water vapor and water appears on the outer surface. Oxygen. Burning can occur only in the presence of oxygen. We see that one component of air is oxygen. Now the amount of air and hence its oxygen component inside each glass in our experiment is limited. When most of this oxygen is used up by the burning candle, it can no longer burn and blows out. Also, some of the space occupied by the oxygen inside the glass becomes empty and water rises up to fill or occupy this space. So we can do one experiment. Light the candle and close it with a glass. So after a few moments, the oxygen is converted into carbon dioxide and there will be no longer oxygen and the candle goes off. So from this experiment we can say that oxygen is very important for burning. Nitrogen. The major part of air is still present in the glass bottle even after the candle blew out. This indicates the presence of some component in the air which does not support burning. The major part of air which does not support burning candle is nitrogen. It takes up nearly 4/5 of the space that air fills. So the 4/5 of the space, in the sense 4/5 of the air contains nitrogen. Carbon dioxide. In a closed room, if there is some material that is burning, you may have felt suffocation. This is due to excess of carbon dioxide that may be accumulating in the room as the burning continues. Carbon dioxide makes up a small amount of the air around us, that is very less than 1%. Plants and animals consume oxygen for respiration and produce carbon dioxide. Plant and animal matter on burning also consumes oxygen and produces mainly carbon dioxide and few other gases. So by burning plants and animal matter or anything which is like fossil fuels, by burning those things, carbon dioxide is released. And one more point is, plants and animals consume oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Dust and smoke. The burning of fuel also produces smoke. Smoke contains a few gases and fine dust particles and is often harmful. That is why you see long chimneys in factories. This takes the harmful smoke and gases away from our noses, but brings it closer to the birds flying up in the sky. Dust particles are always present in air. So the burning of fuel produces smoke, and it contains fine dust particles which are very harmful. It also contains like carbon particles and all. Dust particles are always present in air. During cold winters, you might have observed similar beam of sunlight filter through the trees in which dust particles appear to dance merrily around. This shows that air also contains dust particles. The presence of dust particles in air varies from time to time and from place to place. So there are many factors which affect the density of dust particles. So it varies from place to place and time to time, etc. We inhale air when we breathe through our nostrils. Fine hair and mucus are present inside the nose to prevent dust particles from getting into the respiratory system. So these are the protectors of our body from dust particles. Fine hair and mucus, which is present in our body, it prevents dust particles. Nitrogen and oxygen. In fact, these two gases together make up 99% of the air. Nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen plus oxygen. So we have to remember it consists of 99% of the air. The remaining 1% is constituted by carbon dioxide and a few other gases. Water vapor and dust particles are included. How does oxygen become available to animals and plants living in water and soil? When you heat the water to begin with, the air dissolved in it escapes. As you continue heating, the water itself turns into vapor and finally begins to boil. The animals living in water use the dissolved oxygen in water. So when we heat the water, the dissolved air, whatever is there, including oxygen, it will escape first. Later, the water is converted into water vapor and it also escapes. How is the oxygen in the atmosphere replaced? Photosynthesis. In this process, plants make their own food and oxygen is produced along with it. Plants also consume oxygen for respiration, but they produce more of it than they consume. That is why we say plants produce oxygen. It is obvious that animals cannot live without plants. Similarly, plants cannot survive for long Without animals, they would consume all the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We can see that both need each other, as the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is thus maintained. This shows the interdependence of plants and animals. So here it is said that plants consume carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Animals consume oxygen and release carbon dioxide. That's why both are interdependent on each other. Even plants also consume oxygen for respiration, but they produce more of it than they consume, right? This point is also to be remembered. Plants also consume oxygen for respiration, but they produce more of it than they consume, right? A windmill. The wind makes the windmill rotate. The windmill is used to draw water from tube wells and to run floor mills. Windmills are also used to generate electricity. Air helps in the movements of sailing yacht, gliders, parachutes and aeroplanes. Birds, bats and insects can fly due to the presence of air. Air also helps in the dispersal of seeds and pollen of flowers of several plants. Air plays an important role in water cycle. So what is windmill? So these are the windmills, right? These are used to produce electricity. We have seen in the villages and all. Air also helps in movement of yacht, gliders, parachutes, aeroplanes, and birds, insects, etc. Air also helps in dispersal of seeds and pollen, which are the main reason the plants grow. And air plays an important role in water cycle. Air is found everywhere. We cannot see air, but we can feel it. Air in motion is called wind. Air occupies space. Air is present in water and soil. Air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and a few other gases. Some dust particles may also be present in it. Oxygen supports burning and is necessary for living organisms. The envelope of air that surrounds the earth is known as atmosphere. Atmosphere is essential for life on earth. Aquatic animals use dissolved air in water for respiration. For example, fish use dissolved oxygen for respiration. Plants and animals depend on each other for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide from air. So this is the end of the chapter. Thank you.